Looks can be deceiving.
He told some wild ass stories about the white supremacists coming up to him in prison and slicing his neck when he was just like sitting there watching a basketball game, shit like that.
Because he wouldn't get down with them. Yeah. Same shit.
Right, I seen the same situation, but they knew better than to fuck with me, and then it was a whole big situation. You know what I mean? Like, I really am from Eastwood. I really am. My partners are really them. That we really, it just happened that I come up the way that I have. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no.
It's not, to me, it's not odd. To everybody else it is. You understand what I'm saying? Like, this is all new. It's all brand new to me.
Yeah.
If I could possibly, use this and to benefit my family, because again, I take care of all my kids. I'm a single daddy.
Yeah.
If any way I could
16, Adam.
16 kids, holy shit.
If there's any way possible that I could use just to make myself a better, and again, I ain't here to glorify the things I've done.
Right.
I'm just here to speak on them.
Yeah, let's get into it. No Jumper, coolest podcast in the world. And today on the podcast, we got a Fort Worth legend by the name of Red Dawg. Who has been making a name for himself online, courtesy of the guy sitting next to him. So you helped to get him on the internet in the first place? Was he not really trying to do it, and you sort of brought him in?
I asked him 2 years ago. So his son, shout out 88 Dub, his son was telling me that my dad is, because 88 Dub is a mixed race.
Yeah.
He was like, my dad is a white blood. And I'm like, I'm old enough to know in Fort Worth, like, that around his age, that's not a thing. And if you was that, you had to be square business. And when I met him, at first I was like, hell nah. When I met him, I said, oh shit, it didn't take me 5 seconds. I want to interview him. But he was like, no, I ain't getting on no internet. So then 2 years later is when I sent you, and here we are.
Yeah.
Red Dawg.
Right on. Before I get too far in this interview, I'd like to get some shout outs if it's all right.
Sure.
I would like to shout out to God first for allowing me to be here, and God bless America and what we're going through at this point. I would also like to give a shout out to all my children from my youngest to my oldest. I would also like to give a shout out to OG, Keister, and RIP to Pee Wee, Eastwood Pee Wee. JD, what's up, homie? And with that, I'm ready to roll, homie.
Let's get it, man. So, okay. We'll do a little bit of this like modern conversation, then we'll go back to the beginning. What made you decide to actually be willing to hop on a podcast, given that I guess you were not really feeling that initially?
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. Somebody I'm working for walked up to me one day, and the when I leave my neighborhood, I'm not gangbanging. You understand what I'm saying? I'm old now. I'm 50.
50?
50. So for me,
look pretty good for 50.
Appreciate it. For me to go, gentleman told me, he said, man, there's no such thing as a white blood, white Piru. And I sat back after I told him, yeah, it is. His people said he was from Fort Worth. Make a long story short, that's what got me going. The guy acted like it really wasn't happening. And for years, people have been trying to interview me. People had actually been trying to tell my story, even write books,
Really?
I just never, I didn't take it serious, When I was introduced to him, we had I'm real nervous behind the camera. I'm not really a camera type of dude. So I'm getting more used to it as we go forward. But he kind of introduced me to everything that's going on. And look, like I said once before, if there's, I'd like to tell my story.
Yeah.
Because I am him.
Did you think that you weren't qualified to do interviews because your story wasn't interesting enough? Like, you're not a rapper, you're not some like crazy business mogul or whatever. So was that part of it? Or was it more like, listen, I'm a street dude. I've been in the streets all these years. I don't want to get on a podcast and just air out all this shit that I've been into.
Right. Both. I would say, I really don't know, to be honest with you. I'm looking at it like this. Right now, I'm going forward with everything. I don't really like speaking on gang stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like literature and knowledge, that I was taught over the years. Of course, I had to know because I was a white boy doing it. I was in the TDC system by myself. So, I don't know, man.
Yeah. But okay, what made you decide to actually go for it though? What was that decision process like?
Well, again, when they called me a liar. See, one thing I don't like, and I still had to go through it mentally. I was like, man, I don't. And then I get with him. I did my first one with
Drewski. Unique perspective.
Okay.
Unique perspective, right? And with Kunta. Kunta was, and then, my second one I did with him. And again, I just kind of, everybody's taking it like it didn't happen, especially outside the city. My city knows. My city knows. And I never thought it was something special. But if you want to know, and especially if there's a way to make some money off of it, I'm going to tell my story. I got a lot of kids home that depend on me to take care of them. I work every day right now, So if there's anything I can do to, I'm all the way in for my family.
For sure. Okay, so growing up in Fort Worth, tell me a little bit about what your upbringing was like.
Well, my daddy and my grandfather who raised me. Okay. He was a construction worker, and I was in Poly. I was in a little spot in an area called Poly, and we were the only white neighborhood. We were the only white family there. It was a couple other ones, but really just not many, like maybe 2, 3. And I went to an all black, school. I was the only white boy there. They made fun of me, I'm white boy. I'm young. I look like Opie. They had a lot of jokes to tell. So,
were you a little guy or were you a big dude at that time as well?
I was always decent size because my daddy had me working at a young age. My pops, he taught me how to build houses and roof. So I was into that type of field, and so I'd always had a little size on me, shoulder wise, but I was skinny.
Did it put you into the perspective of having to defend yourself more aggressively because you were the only white kid or one of the only white kids?
100% for sure. Yeah, when you're a white boy at the school, they didn't want to accept you at that time. You know what I mean? Especially everything going on in the world at the time it was happening. And by me coming out of into a whole new world, I had to make sure that early on my daddy had me watching a lot of John Wayne flicks and mafia movies. Okay. So I kind of I don't know. I didn't want to work. I wanted to join a gang. Kind of weird to say, but I was kind of attracted to that lifestyle at an early age.
But you described in one of the other interviews that you did with him, I think, how one day you just went to school and it was like all of a sudden the gang shit had kind of taken over.
On the Crips and the Bloods, yeah, that's exactly how it happened in Fort Worth.
Why did that happen so abruptly?
Well, I'm going to tell you the honest truth. I watched the movie Colors. It was a big thing when Colors came out. We all sitting at home watching it, and like literally the next day. I mean, it boom. All my partners were this side, and my partners was over here. I'm like, what just happened?
That's wow. Everybody always references that movie as why other cities started gangbanging or why they decided that they needed guns. Like New York dudes always talk about how gangster shit was kind of innocent in a way, and then they saw that movie and all of a sudden everybody needed a gun.
Right.
Yeah. The significance, Adam, with Fort Worth is that in New York, Atlanta, Vegas, they got it. Fort Worth got it soon, like he said, soon as it not too long after LA was doing their thing, the drug trade brought the Crips and the Bloods, more so the Crips first, to Fort Worth. Right. So it's real gangbangers from LA, real Crips, real Bloods in Fort Worth that are from Fort Worth, but they also from out here. Because the shit is it's deep rooted in the 80s. When they seen the Colors movie is when everything switched, but there's been gangster shit. It's been Crips down there. It's been a few Bloods, but the significance with Eastwood is that it's like Crips and Bloods in Eastwood. You know what I'm saying? So the gangbanger shit is not second rate in Fort Worth, not even a little bit. So it's not LA, but it's definitely not far off because it got picked up soon as the shit hit. Right. Soon as it was able to be visualized, we was doing it in Fort Worth.
Definitely.
For sure.
Yeah, I mean, you think there's something special about Fort Worth in general though? Because I mean, that is kind of one of the main places in Texas that people hype up and say is about as dangerous as it gets.
It's his age group, I'm younger than him, obviously, so I'm watching this shit. So when I heard of him, in my mind, I'm like, ain't no way, because I'm old enough to know if it's really a white blood out here. But then when I checked his shit and went to do my research from the guys that were some of them from out here and the majority of them from Fort Worth, how his report card was 100. It's down the line. They still to this day, no cap. This ain't no facade. This is not nothing. So we're not glorifying it, but Red Dawg is the real deal.
For sure.
For sure.
So did you have to get put on, or it was just kind of like you just became part of it?
I had to be put on.
Okay.
And I had the person that put me on was actually going to make a phone call in a minute. He was going to speak on here for a second. So, by it happening the way it did, by me being the only white dude involved, it was just a lot of, in the beginning I had to prove myself. That was, of course, the people in the neighborhood that grew up with me, I'd already proven myself. They knew. It's always the outsiders that don't believe.
Right.
It's the people that, that watch and sit behind, they eating popcorn, watching it. There's no way this is true. When actually it's the God's honest truth.
Right. What kind of stuff were you getting into at that time, criminal wise, or
I was stealing cars quickly. Once I learned how to steal a car, that was my thing. I got to stealing cars so quick. But I would steal cars. We would do simple things. A lot of things I don't. Everything led into everything. Just what you could imagine's been done. Let's just put it like that. You know what I mean?
But at that time, was it heavily about beefing with other neighborhoods, or was it more just trying to get some money?
Well, here's what happened. Let me just go on and break it all the way down to you. See, I had a decision to make, right? I was dealing with this gang called PLM. But my partners wanted me, but I was still dealing with this PLM situation that I had going on, that I'd come a part of, right? Kind of before the Bloods and the Crips kicked off. They killed my brother. Bloods and Crips kicked off, and I had Crips asking me, hey, man, where you gonna join? And I had Blood, I had partners. Like I said, we went to school. One minute, everybody changed. One day, we had a line drawn down the middle. And my real close partners was, Piru, from Eastwood, and a family as well. So Crips ended up killing somebody close to me and my family, and I kind of just flashed out, And at that point, it really wasn't about Bloods and Crips. It was about me taking and doing what I had to do at that point. And then the Bloods recognized what was happening, and they already knew me, and it was kind of like, hey, this one is a real one. And I've never been on from day one, I've been solid to the core. And that's just it. People can feel that energy when you're around them, and that's what happened. And we just went from there. We ain't looked back.
For sure. So you never got any kind of charges in relationship to you wanting to get revenge for your friend there?
No. No, that was Donnie Mayo. He was my family member. They murdered him in Fort Worth.
Was that you losing your innocence in a sense?
Right, I would say it just made me insane.
Is that the line between you being a boy and a man?
Right, I had already thought I wasn't gonna make it. They was interviewing me in the newspaper already with that gang. I was already interviewed.
Okay.
They were telling me, hey, you ain't gonna make it to see, if you're lucky to see 18, 20, 21 max, because I was really out there. And see, back then we didn't have cell phones with camcorders on them, and we didn't have Ring cameras everywhere you went, and so your name kept popping up and stuff. Boom, 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 and detectives knocking at the door. But like I said again, we didn't have all the, the ways that people have nowadays to get caught up. Cameras on corners and, all that didn't exist back then.
Like in comparison, when you think about that era, was it just like incredibly easy to get away with doing shit just because?
Well, I never say it was incredibly easy. I just didn't, a lot of us didn't take time to even think about it.
Right.
At that moment. We didn't think, we wasn't making a map on what's fixing to happen. We didn't premeditate nothing. We just went at it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Definitely. So you said that it made you insane. Like you actually felt you had an extended period of time where you felt like that?
Yeah, let me tell you exactly how it went. When I went to the funeral, and his head was about that big, and I didn't recognize him. To this day, I still visualize that.
Damn.
So it kind of made me messed up,
Yeah, no, totally. How'd you learn to deal with that? Or like nowadays they would say that you need to go to therapy for that kind of thing. I'm guessing that wasn't an option.
Well, I went to prison. That was the therapy coming.
Okay.
Them detectives were short shit. They were trying to get me off the street anyway. So once I, every time something happened, I got accused for doing a lot of things I didn't do. You understand? But it was just because them white boys they ain't never accepted it. To this day, it ain't acceptable.
Right. So the good old boys in the Texas police system were looking at you like you were an extra big target because they see you as not only a criminal and a gang member, but like some sort of race traitor.
Right, 100%. That was 100%. Yeah, you know, the police in the streets, it wasn't as bad, you know, coming up in the streets as far as the officers, because I wasn't getting close enough to them to let them talk to me anyway. But when I was in TDC, it was real bad, you know, it was real bad on the racism. Because I don't want to be racist. I don't have racist in me. I didn't know how to be racist. The first time I heard the N-word, I was in TDC.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, as far as like that, okay, wait, now in the street you hear youngsters talking or all my partners talking, but it wasn't like that.
Right.
You know, they put a little on the end of it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what? What is this?
You were around so many black people that you were kind of oblivious to what white racism towards black people kind of looked like?
Right, I grew up in the hood. I didn't know. My dad we didn't talk about racism. We went to church, it was all black. We went to school, it was all black. Everywhere I went, it was all black. I didn't know. My pops never said anything to me about, you know, man don't like another man because of his tone. That never happened to me. I didn't learn that until I was on my way to prison, and my people would say, my uncles that have already been there, don't go down there doing that. Don't go down there doing that. They're gonna kill you. You ain't gonna make it. All them stories, and you know, I pretty much felt that way anyway. I felt like it, like the paper said, I wasn't gonna live to see 21 anyway. So it, I'm 17. I got a few more years left, and as soon as I passed that 21 mark, I still tell them to this day I'm on borrowed time. God gave me a little bit more time.
For sure. I mean, Texas is a weird environment in a way because, especially when you're dealing with like street dudes, because they're super serious, super gangster, super about whatever, but then also like the stereotype from my perspective of people in Texas is true that they're just some of the most friendliest, nicest, most accommodating people you'll ever meet.
So that's hospitality.
That's me, 100%. I'm very nice and humble and respectful. Now, you know, then I wasn't. Then I didn't care if I died. It didn't matter. We were going to do what we had to do.
Where do you think you got that sense of nihilism where you just weren't necessarily concerned if you lived or died? Like, was there any particular childhood trauma that really kind of put you into that mentality?
Yeah, I told you that funeral.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You know, when I went I seen him a couple of days before they killed him, and then he was missing for a while. We had to hunt his down. They finally found him. His body was decaying, and he was already. It was pretty bad. You know, they made a movie out of his sister getting killed, and I killed my best friend or something like that. It's a movie.
Really?
It's Mayo. But anyway, make a long story short. Yeah, you know, we were playing one day, and the next day they said that he was missing, and then they found him. And then when they found him, he was, you know, it wasn't the same. When you go to you're gonna know when you go into a funeral, they don't look exactly like but he didn't look nothing. Like they put a lot of makeup on him, and like I said, it was a nightmare. Like when I looked in there, I had no idea. I mean, right then I signed the dotted line. We're gonna fix this.
Damn. Okay. So when did you first start to get in trouble with the law, though? Was it before that or after?
As soon as I left out of that funeral, I remember them telling me I was so already known that the laws was already at the funeral.
Oh wow.
They had walked up to us when I was coming out of the funeral with me and my partners, and they were like, "Let us handle this." They come straight to me. They already knew in their mind. They already knew this is Fort Worth, Texas. This is gangland. Like this was the truth. This murder word. That's for a reason. And the people, it was serious. It was serious business. It was just as serious as California in them days. Bodies was dying. People was dying every day. We had the number one murder rate. Fort Worth, Texas.
They were using the Murder Worth name back then as well?
Not quite then. They was making its name.
That's where it came from, though.
But that's where it came from.
Yeah,
right.
Rappers started saying on some cool shit, but
right.
That's where they came from.
The murder rate didn't, you know, it was so many people dying. I remember the police stopped us one day, and you know, they had already identified who all was in the car, and they were like, they took a picture and circled it, and they took a picture of everybody. He handed it back to me. I was like, "What are you doing, man?" He said, "Here, I want to show you something, son. Whoever dies on this prison, put an X on them. Whoever dies on this picture, put an X on them. Whoever goes to prison, put a circle around their head." Well, I gave my partner ended up keeping that picture. And about 10 years ago, I seen that picture again. It was crazy, homie. Like everybody was dead and gone, and a few had went to prison. And I think me and one other person may have been still standing in that picture. And it really just, back then you don't think like that. You don't really care. Especially when you see your people laying there dead. And it was further. It was a lot further deeper than that. It wasn't just. And then once I got all the way into it, I was underestimated. You understand what I'm saying? Like they wasn't, and I was full throttle. I was the type that when you got in the car with me, you shit your pants, even as a gangster. Like, whoa, wait a minute, and stop and let me out.
Why?
I got stomach problems.
You were just always on that type of timing at that point?
At that time, every day. Again, after I made the paper and everybody told me you ain't gonna live, I believed it. I walked the valley of shadow of death alone. I was ready to die.
Really?
And that's not good now. I don't want to, I definitely don't want to die now. But then I didn't have no fear of death.
Yeah, no, definitely. So what was your first time getting locked up like?
Well, I got locked up in the county jail in Fort Worth, and again, back then it was crazy, man. The Bloods and the Crips it was wild. It was wild. Like it was like they put a bunch of gang members in cages, and we were getting it in. Like we were getting it in every day. It was we would put in a sick call just so we could fall to the holdover with our rival. Tell him that's how we get to each other. Hey man, put a sick call in, screaming back and forth. All right, bet. And they put it in, and as soon as them doors rolled and they put you in there, it went down. They got to the point where they put us in different cells, like lockdown. But we still got to come out, but we didn't get to mingle with everybody in Tarrant County, called our row in Tarrant County, our row.
But when they put you in this little area together, it wouldn't be anybody else, so you'd get a chance to fight, but...
You had 6 cells.
Okay.
3 on each side. Day room open in the middle. It's called rotation. One guy would come out at a time for an hour a day. Or if there was only 6 guys in there, maybe 2 hours a day. So he would come out for 2 hours. He would start at 7 in the morning, 7 at night. We were back on lockdown.
Damn, but so you would get a chance to fight, and would everybody else be able to see it, or not really?
Right. Yeah, you would know it, because when he started fighting in the county back then, the whole county would shake. Like they knew what time, like I said, it was wild. It was wild. It was wild, man. That's all I can say. It was insane. Like, youngsters going at it every day. Yeah. Every day.
Wow. And so how many times you go in there, or how much time you spend there before you ended up going to prison?
Well, I ended up getting caught up and doing a couple of years between boot camp. They sent me to this boot camp in Fort Worth called, it was Sharon Wilson. She was a judge. That was my judge.
Oh my God.
Everybody's scared of Sharon Wilson. When you went in front of her, she was kind of lost, man. Yeah. She had no feelings for you,
She did you the same way she do the black guys?
Right. Yeah, well, she sent me to boot camp, right? And I went out there and at that time I wasn't allowing nobody to talk to me the way that people talk to people, being young and dumb, instead of trying to learn something, I was going to prove something. And I ended up getting into it out there and me and the guard got into it, and make a long story short, I messed all that up. And from there, I went back to the county and I did another year. So in all, I did about 10 years in that little stretch. Wow. 9.5, 10 years, close to 10 years. I went to prison at 17 in Texas. So,
it was for a robbery, right? That was the main charge?
Right. They dropped it to robbery by threats.
Okay,
but in the beginning, it was aggravated armed robbery with a deadly weapon.
Right.
But I got me a good lawyer. I thought I had a good lawyer. He fought with me, not necessarily all for me, but...
What'd you end up feeling about your lawyer, that he was not working on your behalf?
I figured that I could have got some lesser time than that. Why would a 17-year-old be facing prison right now? Again, it was just like this. Them white folks wasn't playing with me. They got tired of me already. And hey, we're going to do him like we do every other person in here, and let's get rid of him.
Yeah.
So, I knew that, come on, bro. My first time, no probation, no nothing, straight to prison. Like, that was insane to me. But again, I was 17 when I took my journey to hell.
So being 17, going into that environment, was your mentality like this is the worst possible scenario, or were you kind of excited to be in a gladiator school, as they call it?
No. I wasn't excited at all. I was nervous as hell.
Oh, okay.
I was nervous as hell. I'm 17 years old. You know, I look over here and know my partner here, he's coming from the county with me. I know him, but all these are grown men in here, and I'm 17, and all I'm hearing is, don't do that when you get down there. You can't do this when you get down there. Oh, you got to be a part of this. Oh, and I'm already in my mind believing, what am I gonna do? You know, when you walk into that, it's an environment that's like none other. It's a penitentiary. It's TDC. It's only the strong survive. You walk in strong. You don't. If you show weakness your first day in TDC, you're gonna be somebody's bitch. In the 90s,
right?
You know, and the weakness, I wasn't about to show it. I was feeling it in my stomach, but I wasn't gonna show it.
So you feel like you figured out who you were associated with right away? Did you fall into line like that, or was it a little bit tough to?
No, it was a little different because I'm hearing all my uncles tell me, don't go down there doing that. I'm hearing other people tell me, man, this ain't, you can't come down here being a blood or Piru. It ain't gonna happen. So make a long story short, the white boys it was called the wood pile. In TDC, they got a wood pile. And it's just a bunch of stay down white men that want to be, that's not a part of Aryan Brotherhood or Aryan Circle, a racist organization. But shit, they might as well be, because that's what turned me on them, because they're so racist.
Even the woodpile who are supposed to not be racist were still pretty racist?
They were all the way racist. They were saying things about black folks that, well, anyway, make a long story, let's get right on into that, because I'm gonna tell you all about that. I get there and I'm looking at everything happen in front of me. I'm just kind of watching everything and everybody. White boys are really dealing with me. They're getting to know me. I was a big dude still, you know, and they could tell I wasn't weak in no way. I was just kind of lost in the situation. So they're coming at me back to back, and you know, we're going at it, you know, just talking about, you know, you got to be this, you got to stay stiff, and it's a lot of youngsters, they're trying to give us game. But the more I sat around them and talked to them, all I was hearing was the N-word, the N-word. We're whispering that to each other, you know, and I'm like, I ain't with this, man. So one day I said something about it. I'm like, man, why the fuck every time we come together, the first thing you say is this and that? Why don't you say that out front? Let's just stand up. If you're gonna be that way, why don't you just announce it to the world? And anyway, they kind of turned on me a little bit, but at that time I'd already made my decision. Like, I'm not finna be around this foolery, you know what I mean? So I went in there, and make a long story short, I already had partners that were there, like I told you, so from both sides. Again, I say partners at the time, they were Crips and I was Blood. We wasn't partners, but we knew of each other. Let's put it like that. We were homeboys. When I mean a homeboy, somebody you grew up with in your hometown. And when I went on down to TDC, I decided right then and there, I was like, look, I came out the next day to the day room, and I remember I was on there with a couple of Crips from Fort Worth that I remember very clearly being with me on that unit. And I'd said, man, look, one of them was named Crip T, one of them named K-Love. I said, shit, we're gonna do what we gotta do. And I ain't turning back. And at that point, me and them fell out. You know, we kind of went at it, but that's how the journey begun. So I didn't look back.
At that time, even though you were a Piru on the streets, you weren't really 100% sure who you were gonna end up rolling with in there.
Well, you don't know, because when they talk about you know, what I'm saying is when you're 17, you ain't really, you're young, man. You don't know what's gonna happen. And if anybody sits here in front of you, this camera, and ever tells you that they wasn't nervous to go to prison, fool.
Right.
They're nervous, man. You don't know what, these are full-grown gorillas.
Yeah.
And you're a chimpanzee at the time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't at that time, it was kill or be killed. You understand? And I didn't want to die.
Right.
Even though I already believed in my mind that it wasn't gonna be much longer anyway. I was approaching 21 while I was in prison. So I figured any day now.
So did you just tell these white dudes like, hey, I don't with y'all, like if you got a problem, it is what it is?
They already kind of felt the energy.
Right.
Because I'm not the same. You know, I don't talk the same, I don't walk the same, I don't carry myself the same, and I never was racist. So right then and there, and don't get me wrong, every white boy in prison ain't racist, okay? But the majority are. And it's because it's a white thing. When they become together, they say things together as their people. That's my, you know, that, and I just, again, I couldn't understand it. I wasn't on that type of time.
Right.
You know, because my dad didn't raise me like that. You know, when you watch John Wayne movies, they wasn't using the N-word. I don't know what that word. I didn't know that was. I was confused.
At that time, would you say that the whites were like sort of on the same level as the blacks and the Hispanics in terms of like credibility? Because a lot of times when I talk to people about prison, they say that the white faction is pretty pathetic.
If you want to be 100% honest, that's the truth, man. That is true. Now, not in Cali. I've never been to Cali. We ain't speaking on Cali. We're speaking on Texas.
Cali, they say that too, for sure.
Yeah. Well, in Texas penitentiary systems, the white boy is the weak link. Now, wait a minute. There's some gangsters in there too. And when I say gangsters, I mean they can be. Because you're racist, don't mean you ain't no gangster. Let's put that out there. You can be a racist gangster, man.
Right.
I'm saying TDC, the racism was so intense that you could feel it on your body. It was, I don't know how to explain it, but I couldn't fall weak like that. You know, I had too many friends at that time that I come from, you know, whether we was rivals or whether we was partners in the streets or whatever, they were all black. I didn't understand racism. And then once I realized, whoa, this dude is racist and he really means it, it just went in, you know, I went a whole nother direction. I couldn't walk that walk. And I told my uncle, he was Texas Mafia, Roy Mayo. He's like, you can't do that. I said, I'm gonna do that. I said, I'd rather die in this penitentiary than not. I'd rather die right here than be racist. And that's how real it is with me, man.
That's hard. I like it.
And I just ain't gonna roll like that.
So did it become immediately a situation where all these white dudes really want to hurt you?
No, they didn't want to with me.
Oh, okay.
See, I could fight. To this day, I can fight. I'm 50 and can still fight. Now I'm old now, I don't want to fight. But no, I was fighting already. Now I wasn't A1 with my boxing game at that time, but they knew. Again, them white boys wasn't AZ. You know what I mean? They wasn't even in the top 5. You know, in the penitentiary system, the black man's got them hands, man. The Mexicans got them shanks. And them white boys got that kite. They're gonna kite themselves out of there.
Oh, so just leave.
They're gonna get up out of there. Yeah, I've been in many positions like that. But you know, like again, I decided, I don't know, it was kind of weird because one day I was nervous and then the next day I just didn't give a You know, and then I walked out into that day room and I'm checked. Oh yeah, you know, you're getting it in. And I was okay because I had heart. So my fighting was okay because I never tucked my tail or my head. I went straight up, straight in. And one day this OG walked up to me, Vincent Webb. He's like, man, you got heart. He said, I'm gonna tell you, he was a 5-star general in the UBN, United Blood Nation. He said, let me holler at you. He said, let me show you some things. And I ran across Tyrone Cotton. You know, they kind of, you know, felt my situation. And kind of, they taught me how to fight from then. I mean, it was just of course, again, teaching me how to fight is teaching me how to perfect fighting. So we're hitting pads every day. All I'm doing is hitting pads for hours and hours straight. And then the white boys, they did after you stand in the back of a dorm or a cell and they hear you pop, 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 all day long, you're hitting them pads, they knew that boy's getting himself together. and I didn't have a lot of problems with the white boys. Now the Aryan Brotherhoods, and you know, I met them and they really just kind of, I guess they didn't even want me. You know, I guess I was just one of them they didn't even want anyway. You know, after the situation kicked off, he's a traitor.
Right.
That's how they consider you. But I wasn't. I love my people. I want to say that. I'm white pride to the day I die, but I'm never white power. There's a difference in prison systems. White pride is proud to be who you are. And it took me a long time to be proud of me. You know what I mean? Because I didn't with white folks at all, in no type of way. And when they, you know, when the brothers in my hood things would happen and racism would occur as far as on TV, it affected me. And I couldn't believe how my people would do that. So I kind of backed away from them. And then when I got to prison, how they treated me, how they spit on me and threw feces on me, you know what I mean? I just kind of changed, man. And it took me a long time to even deal with white people again. And now to this day, I got 2 white friends. You know, Sam, he's a great friend, and Jay, that's my 2 white friends. And I don't have no other white friends. I mean, I will accept more white friends if I had the friend request.
I'm working on being friend number 3, man. I feel like this interview goes well, I might have a spot. Right. Wait, but when you say they were throwing feces on you and shit, is that a reflection of what happened once you got to prison? Because we're talking about jail, the county jail before that? Okay.
Right. Well, here's what happened. So I went from Telford unit to Clements, and that's in Brazoria County. And as soon as you hop off the bus, again, you got a travel card you carry everywhere you go. You don't, but the guard carries for you. As soon as I got there, he was like, oh, wow. And I already knew what they was reading, white. And in prison, they don't specify Piru blood or nothing. They blood and Crip, that's all that's on there. White blood. And they could tell I was a battler, though. They could already tell, because most time I went, my eyes were black or jaw was cracked. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm getting it in. This wasn't no movie scene. This was the truth. And I didn't hold back. Now now I'm real humble about everything and respectful, and I try to, you know, guide kids in the right way and tell the children the right thing. But back then I was zero tolerance on, you know, I didn't even understand the literature of the past history of the Crips and the Bloods. I would just own your ass because you wore blue, you know, and that was back then. That's kind of how it was, and we were in the county and in the penitentiary system, kind of doing the same thing. You know, I didn't really get a lot of knowledge until somebody set me down and explained things to me because I wanted to know. Right. You know, but Clements unit was very racist, very, very racist. The guard told me, he said, yeah, boy. And again, I ain't got, you know, a lot of people get that, they say that I bring comments that boy is a slave word, right? Well, maybe it is to the black community, and I don't call black men boys anyway. But when they refer to me as a white boy, that don't affect me. Right. I don't care about that, man, because what you're doing and what I'm doing is 2 different things, and you'll never accept it anyway. Right. I knew already that people ain't gonna accept it. I've walked 50 years and still ain't been accepted. Only where I'm accepted and respected is in Eastwood, Texas. You know what I'm saying? And even there, I still have to, from time to time with the youngsters, battle with my reputation or my, you know, who I am, because don't nobody care about that. Don't nobody care how many, you could have had bodies laying everywhere then, and now today you don't come out guerrilla style. They don't care. You ain't carrying a pistol and trying to kill somebody. You ain't nobody no more. You know, Unc. You know, like I tell them, I'm not your uncle. I'm more of a figure in your life, like your father or your OG. Right. Not your uncle.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of indicative of the degree of privilege that you have as a white person that none of the anti-white slurs carry any weight. That you could call me a cracker all day. Right. I don't give a fuck. I laugh at
that shit, man. Cracker, it sounds good.
But meanwhile, the N-word, you say it in the right way to a black person, it delivers an immense amount of hurt.
It's funny, man. You know, I never told this story. I'm going to put it on that all the way out there, man. Well, my partner used to always tell me, man, you real, man. You can say that word, man. Yeah. And I'm like, no, they were serious. They were genuine. They were serious, man. And so I thought, well, I could say that word. Well, I went in the restroom, I kicked on the lights, and I shot one out. I looked at myself, and I felt stupid the whole time. Well, I turned the lights off, turned around, I said, well, let me try it again. I turned around and hit it again. Right then I knew, no, man, this don't even make no sense, man. It sounds stupid. Sounds stupid for me to even do that. And then as the further I got along, it got more of a respect thing because, again, I didn't know racism at that time. But when I realized how serious racism was, then it really sensitive my heart in a lot of situations to the point where I don't feel like that word is acceptable by no race but the black race. And I realized when, you know, we say it, because everybody, it's a word they use now as, it's a Band-Aid. I'm going to say that word's a Band-Aid. You understand? And they use that word, and the people are using this, wow, blah, blah, and here it is. And to me, you know, it's not healthy. It just don't feel good. And then all my people are black, and every time somebody says it affects me because I'm like, you know, you got to figure out, how are you using that in the, you know, you're saying it fly, but are you really, I don't know, man. It's just Mexicans in the Texas and white boys in Texas. They're in the streets or in that type of lifestyle. They use that word recklessly, and I think, me personally, that it should be. I mean, and then you get, what upsets me about it though is you'll let this one white boy, right, say it because he's so fly, but then you'll let this square white boy that wants to be fly, you say it and you want to kill him, right? Let's just not say it.
Right.
Let's just not pick and choose who we give that word to. You're never fly enough to use that word, in my opinion. You don't have to use that to be accepted. Matter of fact, if you said that around, like say, for instance, if I went to one of my partner's house and we're going back and forth and his grandpa's sitting there and I'm just, yeah, blah, 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 I'm just throwing it out. You would think grandpa's gonna say.
That was the example I was gonna use, is that if you feel comfortable, like anything I say, I want to feel comfortable saying it around anybody.
Right.
And like in the past, somebody like Brick Baby who free his ass, but he told me, like, because I think I was quoting a song to him or something, and I said like blah 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 N-word when I'm quoting the song, and he goes, we're really friends. Like you could say it. Like I don't give a. And I'm like, it just doesn't feel right coming out of my mouth because I wouldn't say it around your grandma.
Right. Well, see, that's genuine. See, I want to say that about you then. See, that's the type that that's genuine, brother.
Yeah.
If you when you get around your wife and you start, or your whoever out there, they start doing, and you're blah 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 blah, and then you get. I grew up like this. If you're gonna do something, be solid, man. I used to say that to them white boys when we were sitting at that table. I said, man, what's the problem with you and this man? We'll get on out there and address it man to man, face to face, and let's see how it unfolds. If you're gonna be something, you have to follow it all the way. You can't 50% it or 60% it. You have to put 100, and in my position, 150% on it. You know what I mean? Because I wasn't gonna be the weak link just because I had pale skin. I couldn't fall weak like that because I already knew what I was outnumbered. I knew that the black folks didn't want to accept me because I'm a white boy. That's the first thing they look on this camera right now when they look, oh, he's white. Man, he ain't nobody. They don't, that white in me, they feel is weak. So if you don't let them know immediately it ain't that type of party, then you will forever be ran over and taken advantage of. See, there's other white boys that's coming up in the same situation. I'm hearing them say that they was in Texas prison systems and they was Piru or blood, and you're telling a lie, man. Telling a lie. You're doing that shit for popularity, for views. I did that shit because that was my real life. You understand? I'm not gonna say there ain't no white boy out there that's Piru for shit sure, man. I said shout out to the white boy because they've been hitting me a lot. Yeah. I'm saying in the TDC penitentiary system in the 90s, from 1993 to 2000, if you was in the TDC system, you claim most of them, the fear factor just alone, you're going against the world. You're not just going against your race. They feel the Mexicans don't accept you. The blacks don't accept you because they're like, who the f is he? He's a white boy, like that white boy. But I wasn't like that white boy. I was different than that white boy. My DNA was different. I wasn't cut from that type of cloth, and that's when you have to go into the respect mode. And that's why I'm so serious about it today, that I got to have my respect. See, this interview started off with respect. I had to explain to them, I don't care about nothing else. I wasn't trying to get here, but thank you for having me. That wasn't my intention. My intention was to let them know that somebody made a comment that all white boys in Texas prison system was bitches and hoes. And that burnt my blood up.
Called them kids.
Called them kids. And I realized where he's coming from because they are 99%. But that 1%, you got to speak firm with. And that 1% was me. And I took it as offense. And that's what got me going. And then once that's what really just, but him, it all happened at one time. The white dude I'm working with, his people said, ain't no such thing in Eastwood and East Side. And I'm like, man, you telling him that this man's from East Side of Fort Worth and he's telling you ain't no such thing and I've been here? That ain't like I just popped out. I've been here. So you have to know, the real gangsters in the city know. They know.
For sure.
And the youngsters coming up that don't have no guidance, and if you don't give me a second on this, these youngsters nowadays don't have no respect for the OG. And that's why the system is so, we're falling apart. I wish I would have brought my shirts to show you, man. I got some shirts coming out. And I'm bringing them because I'm chasing peace. And no way because I'm scared. It's because I'm wise. And I've realized that I've lost a lot of people. and they've lost a lot of people, and these are children lots of times. You know, and I just want to reach my community and let them know that there is somebody that's out there that'll listen. There is somebody that'll try to help. There's been other people come from my city that ain't worried about peace. They're worried about their image on here and how much money they can make. I'll stay broke and fight for peace in my family, in my kids, and keep one alive, because my boys are tripping. My boys are getting it in. And I don't want that. They fell right up on, like the cop told them, you know, the apple don't fall far from the tree, and that's true. But I want to save one now. It's time to save one. You know what? I don't want nobody sitting back here thinking, oh, he wants to be hard and he wants to be tough. Man, I am that. I don't have to prove that no more. And that's why I'm trying to fight with everybody to this day with me, to prove that I don't have to fight no more. I just have to be me now. You know, the struggle, the fight is real. When you fight every day in your mind, that no one wanted you anyway. No one's accepting you. Your own race turned on you just because you wasn't racist. The people that you loved the most wasn't wanting to accept you because they didn't feel like you was real enough. You know, that was deep. That was deep, man. And I kept battling. It was a battle. It's been a battle to today, and that's why I'm telling you, I don't want to battle no more. You know, and if I do battle, I want to battle for
a righteous
unity.
Cause.
Yeah, unity. I want to battle for peace. I want to battle that we can come together. I know the OGs in the city on both sides, and I love everybody, and I just want to bring them together, you know? And these shirts I made, they're amazing, man. I'm telling you, brother. Like, half is blue, half is burgundy. Right side's burgundy. The right side says people in righteous unity. The left side says what? Community.
Revolution in progress.
There you go. I'm sorry to say like that. I just never remembered that and kept up with that because I was never focused on what I'm on now.
Yeah.
You know, but no disrespect to nobody. But I got my shirts made and it stands for Crip. And this is the beginning of everything. And this is Piru, and it's the beginning of everything, like way back in the 70s. And I want to bring them together. At the bottom of my shirt, it says, together we stand, divided we fall. And on the front, it's a big tree, and it says, family over everything. You know, we can't lose no more people. You know, that's how I feel about it, man. I'm deep about that because my sons and your sons, you know, we got to teach them better. I went in it too hard. I went in proving myself to the world, expecting death before 21. But God blessed me to still be here at 50. That's 25, 27, 29 years after that. And you know, I get to sit here with you and hopefully with me sitting here with you, I can bring my city together.
No, I believe
because that's what I'm focused on.
For sure. Okay, but speaking of the Blood and Crip thing, when you decided that you weren't going to be rolling with the white boys in prison or whatever, were you accepted in the way that you probably wanted to be by the actual gang members?
No.
Especially because, like you were saying, another interview I saw is that the Bloods were always like a huge minority, like that it was mostly Crips.
It's been that way. It's been that way my whole life. My whole life. I'm sorry, I got somebody I'm trying to get on the phone right quick.
Yeah.
I would like to speak with us. Yeah, it's always been like that. It's always been.
For a word for Crip City.
Hello?
Adam?
He was calling you and you called him and hung him up.
All right, well, I'm on live right now, so they finna hit me. And this is some validation. We finna have OG Kiki, Eastwood Don. He's finna call from prison. So as soon as he calls back, if you don't mind, I'm gonna put him on the line.
No, for sure.
And like I said, man, yeah, it was a struggle. It's been a struggle. And it's been a mental struggle on me. Because I just, every time I walked into a room, and it was, you know, of course, it was always gonna be black. I walked in, especially in prison, I had to prove myself from the jump. So it got to the point where they were calling me out every day. You know, we had a thing in Texas called Freaky Friday. on Friday night, they would call each other to the dance floor. And it got so bad to me, like damn, I'm the only one getting called out every Friday.
So Freaky Friday was a fight situation.
Fight,
okay.
yeah, in Texas. Of course, I wasn't the only one, but I was the majority. Most of the time, I was getting it in. And he, I mean, it just was it was one of them situations, man. And so now I got to the point where Freaky Friday would roll out, and I'm like this. Now I want him. Well, what about him? I'll take him too. Like, that's how we were fighting. You know, when I say I fought 40 fights in 30 days, that's not an exaggeration. Like, this was the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help me God. We ain't making this up to impress nobody. Because I'm going to tell you something, bro. It was a battle. It was a lifestyle that many can't walk. And that's why when these white boys are saying, oh, I was Piru in prison, and I'm thinking, man, really? You know?
It's hard for you to believe, even though you did it?
I did it because I was truly accepted by my people, because that's where I grew up. From here, like, we went to elementary school together, we went to middle school together, we went to high school together. That's how I came up. I didn't have no white friends. The only white friends that I knew was my family. You know, their family running around. We didn't. You know, I didn't have nobody that I didn't know what the white boys was riding skateboards out there. I was packing a pistol. You know, and then I chose that lifestyle at an early age because I liked. I just had an attraction to a gangster. You know, like watching movies with my pops. You know, I just kind of, you know, and then hearing him tell his old stories kind of just turned me to, you know.
So catching all those fades and everything, did that really kind of earn you the respect of the black community in there that you were a part of?
Right. Yeah, it definitely did. Well, you know, first few times you're getting it in.
Hello?
Yeah, is he there?
Yeah, here he is right here. Hold on.
Oh, really?
You happy?
Well, we're in Texas.
You had Twisted Black up here, did you?
Yep.
Forward.
Hello?
Legend.
That's my guy.
Hold on, Red Dog. You know we calling from prison.
Yeah, up here.
I know it.
Tony.
I know it. But yeah, so
got
the respect, you know, you fighting for your respect. He was in prison with me too at that time. He pulled in at the same unit I was on Telford, and fighting for your life, fight for everything you believed in. You know, at that time.
I'm gonna cut you. You gotta remember to tell him who you hate. You can't forget about that.
Yeah, I'm gonna give him a minute on that one. Let him.
I'll write that down in case you forget.
Yeah.
And he just sat down with Percy too.
Oh yeah, well I do have that written down, and the other one.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I'm gonna say this, man, and I'm since you started it, now you got my back burning. I'm gonna have to put that out there. You know, Charleston White, speaking directly to him. I hope he can always hear me say it. I can't stand Charleston White.
Really?
And let me explain to you why, man. Let me give the world the reason.
He talked down on your homie who passed?
100%. Yeah, Pee Wee from Eastwood. It's a real sensitive subject to a lot of people, man. And he talked down on him and said that, you know, after he passed, though, he wouldn't have done that while he was alive. You understand what I'm saying? And after he did that and he put that out there like that, I ain't got no respect and never will for him. Like, ever.
So it was a situation that he knew about? Was he speaking out of ignorance, or did he actually understand?
Everybody, no. He's ignorant man, so he don't speak out of understanding never. Have you ever seen that? He's an ignorant man. Where's he done ever? Like, you got popular off the people and left them behind, you know? And that's the truth. You know, when you get popular off the people that put you in that position, at least have enough respect for them to push for them. You understand? In a way. And he's left everybody behind. He's a real hoe in my book. You know what I mean? I wish I could fight him, man. I know that'll never happen. That little weenie.
That would not go over too well, I don't think, yeah.
Yeah, I would love to take about 50 years of aggression out on him. He's very disrespectful. When you talk about people that's passed away, that's more sensitive than anything else you could do. When you're doing something for content, that's one thing. We can make some content and make a lot of people laugh or like you. But in my life, when you talk about somebody that passed away, That's deep. That's too much. You understand what I'm saying? And it ain't just that. That's the reason that I'm zero tolerance on him. Also, again, is he's a snitch. So we come from two different backgrounds. You know, is he on there?
No. I just hit him and told him to call right back. He's gonna call.
Yeah, so we come from two different backgrounds. You know what I mean? It's hard to get a hold of him because he's in prison. So, but we come from two different backgrounds. His background and my background, our DNA ain't nothing the same. I couldn't understand, and I'm gonna say this right now, and only the real gangsters is gonna understand me. The fake ones might miss this, and the wannabes might miss this, but the real ones know exactly what I say. Ain't no gangster, ain't no OG gonna sit in the same room with the DEA. Ain't no man like that gonna sit in the same room with a snitch and vibe. We ain't vibing. Now, if you sit in the same room with him, he's over there and I'm over here, we might, we don't even look at each other. That's one thing. But when I tell you that I can't even be in the same area with that man, I mean it. Because I'm gonna lose it all possibly. Because he took us down the wrong road. And then he made them laugh at us. Like, ain't no bitches and hoes coming from Eastwood, Piru.
Fort Worth, period.
Yeah, let me say that right, Fort Worth, period. But he said Eastwood, Piru. He put a name on it. And that's not real. That's not real. That's not real. I wish they would let me be that island boy.
So I was just thinking about him. Like, you're a little bit bigger than the Island Boys. Well, I was thinking that, so I'm going to guess that his commentary or critique was basically like, oh, that's what you get for being a white boy and trying to be on some gangster shit, something along those lines.
No, he wasn't even on me.
Yeah, he ain't got him yet.
Oh, okay.
See, I didn't listen, man. This is another thing. My homeboy told me when that happened, I was in California. I was here working. And my homeboy told me about it. And I said, man, why didn't y'all do something? Fire him up right then. Oh, he had all the cameras, whatever. I'm like, okay, nobody want to go to prison, man, like that. You definitely don't want to do nothing that's right out in the public. So I'm like, well, what? And then he said, I said, damn, what is he, what type of, because I wasn't paying attention to the clown. And make a long story short, man, when they told me how it happened, I wasn't there. So I told one of my other partners, I was like, man, I want to get at his ass. And they were like, man, he's too big for you. You'll never be able to get at him. He won't even respond to you. So I went to Facebook and I made a post. I ain't got nothing but about 200 or 300 people on. I didn't have nothing at the time looking. I want this bitch ass. You know what I mean? You with the wrong people. And people just make a long story short, he never respond. Never nothing happened. Nothing ever come back out of it. But see, I'm getting on this internet, and the bigger I get,
coming now.
I want to let everybody know that Charleston White is a hoe. He's a real life hoe.
Is there anything that you respect or appreciate about his commentary on the culture, or is this just your overall viewpoint outside of even things that he said about?
Well, I ain't took time to even find out nothing after he said what he said. I haven't even looked him. I don't even know what else he's done. I know he ain't done nothing for my city. He can talk that shit. Yeah. When I look on the internet and I see, when I'm going through Facebook and I scroll through some things, I see him say shit like, for one, he's all in all Confederate. That's a sensitive subject, man. For you to sit there as a black man in front of your black people and do that, you clown, that's more than that's too much. For you to sit there and talk about black women the way you do, man, you've lost your mind. Even K104, the radio station, they said something about him the other morning. I think it was K104. Yeah. They were like, man, he's a clown. He said, because if a black woman was to become president, we would all be slaves. I'd rather be slave. No, he said, I'd rather be a slave again. Man, you watch your tongue, man. Some things are sensitive and people take it and play with them. You understand what I'm saying? So again, he just took that way too far out of line. From disrespecting my partners where I went zero tolerance, and then by me just catching him from here and there, listening, say this ignorant shit he's saying, like, man, who has respect for him? And the
misrepresentation, Adam, of Fort Worth has
no, it's not Fort Worth.
Yeah, that's not.
Man, I'm gonna let everybody on this that can hear us. We don't come like that, homie.
Yeah,
we ain't doing
Charleston.
no snitching.
Yeah,
we ain't doing no snitching.
The people that have had voices that had a chance to maybe come up here outside of Twisted Black, that's not us, bro. When you came down to the Fort Worth, when little buddy took you around, that wouldn't. That's no, Adam, no. Everybody laughed at that shit. They were like, "What?" Remo hit me, so I was in communication with him. But that's not it, bro. Like, and not even because Red Dawg sitting right here, not even because he's white, but Red Dawg is square business. Most of the people there are that. Now, Charleston, Percy is Percy. I love Percy.
I got into a Percy the other day. I got respect for OG Percy. OG Percy, he does good content.
Yeah.
He got a nice platform. You know, he was upset, and I'm gonna say this again. He was upset because I said, "Ain't no gangster gonna sit around and snitch." I never knew Percy, and I'm gonna still stand on that, regardless how. At the end of the day, and I know the people that are gangsters that are hearing me understand exactly where I'm coming from. Again, I said that's like breeding a Chihuahua with an exotic bully. You ain't getting nothing out of that with a bunch of shit. So I didn't mean no disrespect to nobody. If the truth hurts, understand me? And anyway, I sat down with Percy. Let's talk about this, man, right quick. I ain't shooting at Percy right now in no kind of way. I with OG Percy, man. Let me explain something to you. We had a conversation and he explained to me why they actually sat down. And as a man, I understood that, right? But again, he's different than me because I will never, you couldn't give me $1 million right now and I'm broke as I'm gonna tell the world I'm broke as You couldn't give me $1 million to sit down with that bitch ass Charleston White. And I mean that. Now, wait a minute. Let's tell you this. Let's say it like this. Let me whoop him and then give me $1 million and we'll make a duo.
Okay.
And we can sit down together after that. We can sit down and talk all kind of shit, but I need to discipline that punk bitch.
Right.
Because he's let his mouth overload his ass. And I know they're gonna say this, listen to this. They're gonna say, oh, you're too big for him. Well, let me explain something to all of you that's listening. When I was in prison, if I went that route, I wouldn't be here today because damn near everybody I fought was bigger than me. Ain't no such thing in this lifestyle, picking and choosing who you gonna fight. That's only out here in the make-believe world. Oh, he's 250, you're 250. No. Hello? That's not him.
Oh.
I hope you can cut that out.
Oh, yeah.
That's the old lady I take care of down the street.
Okay.
And I hated to hang up on her like that. I feel bad now.
Yo, okay, but that argument that they always use, like the argument that like Wack uses to justify why he can do business with 6ix9ine or do podcasts with 6ix9ine is basically like, he's not a gangster, so I can't really feel the same way about him snitching that I would feel about somebody from my neighborhood snitching or somebody who I previously respected the gangsterism of. And I feel like there's quite a few people who kind of take that attitude. He's a civilian and he told, even though he might have been hanging out with a bunch of gang members for a while there. And I feel like that's the same logic people use with Charleston. Is like, he ain't a gang member. So if he wants to call the cops, talk to the cops.
Does that make it okay, Adam? Does civilians get to snitch? Does that make it okay to be able to do that?
If the old lady on the block calls the cops when there's a shootout.
Not her. I'm willing to do this. Guys that are engaging in this type of the shit we doing, this content space, the podcast space, and then they go
I agree with the old lady snitching on the block.
You're not a fan of that either. Because that's kind of like the new definition of snitching, is that you have to be a gangster to be judged for snitching.
That's why the youngsters took this shit out of proportion. That's why they're all talking about each other and telling on each other, because they made it a fashion. You know, I'm gonna get down for mine, or he gave up. Somebody, oh, that they gave me up. I'm giving them up. Man, if you're doing it, if you can't do the time, don't do the crime. You understand? But it's you still need to have morals and values if you're gonna be that a gangster, right? The first thing you do is we don't with snitches. How many times did Al Capone and Benny C, did they sit in the same room with him? Did they sit in the same room with a snitch and know that that's a snitch?
Probably not.
Right.
Yeah.
Of course, I don't know neither one of them, but I'm just using it. Who is going to sit in the same room as a snitch? You know what I mean? That's how I feel. I mean, in this lifestyle. Again, in this lifestyle. In your lifestyle where you're a civilian and you see that guy kill that guy, well, you want to write a witness statement? That's between you and what you're doing. But
that puts you in a certain box where gangsters shouldn't sit with you?
Yeah, you shouldn't. You should not preach snitching. And again, wait a minute. See, now you in the situation, you're sitting across the street from a gangster. When they come on your show, right, you talk to them, you're going to sit with them.
Right.
Okay? You definitely ain't no snitch.
A little different as a media personality, where it's your job to talk to
I'd have
people.
been called a snitch before a million times.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but
I've also interviewed a lot of people who like definitely snitch, but almost none of them really cop to it.
Right.
You know, almost
Nobody's gonna cop to it.
Everybody got like a little bit of a story to
You
justify.
got to know
it.
we're in the 2000s too. Here's the other thing about the 2000s is this. In 1990 and above, snitches got stitches.
Yeah.
That was a true statement. People found dead everywhere just for running their mouth. People ain't gonna talk on if it's somebody out in your neighborhood and he's killing a lot of people, and they come and interview you. Cut the camera. You know, no, they don't. Nobody. You got to understand. Nowadays, snitching is accepted. Understand that. Like, what's the dude's name out of they snitching?
Who? 1090. Jake.
1090 Jake, yeah, I don't even know who that is, but he's snitching too. Anybody snitching on the
He's
snitches.
snitching on the snitches.
That's how I feel about it. He's snitching on the snitches.
Okay. So even if you're a YouTuber exposing shit that isn't necessarily public?
Well, I guess that...
But 1090 is exposing snitches. Like,
Right,
you
which
know,
is a good thing.
he actually cares about the street code.
Right,
1090 is a dude who
I must say
would
that.
not snitch. He takes his gangster
right.
shit serious.
What are you sure about that?
Well, from everything I know.
Okay, well, I don't know him. Again, we're talking about somebody I don't even know right now. I don't even have no idea who he is. We're talking, but what I'm saying, when a snitch, nowadays, they get away with it. I'm talking about the other dude out of Atlanta. What's his name?
Oh, Woody.
Woody.
Okay.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
How did you tell it? They know you told it, and now you're in the city and everybody's with you, and you're getting paid.
Yeah.
Like, damn, we need to stop being a gangster and start tucking our tail on everybody.
I think it's because
I don't care how many people you killed.
everybody Woody told on is petrified of catching more cases because they all got wrapped up in all these crazy Ricos and shit.
How they letting him live? How's he running around? Let's think about that. How are you still? And again, man, I hope that I ain't trying to tell nobody. Hey, man, I don't want nobody to hurt that man. I ain't saying it like that. We're talking back and forth. I don't even know that man, but when I'm gonna use him as an example because he's popular off of snitching. Right? He even got with Charlie. Oh, Charleston, they was linked up.
Yeah.
They were real cool for like a couple days.
Until they found out who Charleston really is. Charleston's that little snake. That's what he does, you know? He uses you, you know?
And let me just speak on Charleston for a second, because I seen him, like, I wanted to interview him when he kind of first came out on the scene, and for maybe 4 years, he's ducking, saying he would never do it. He's talking about how he would never, ever appear on the podcast, how he don't with me, how he likes racist white boys. He don't like ones like me who want to be cool black dudes, etc. Fine, whatever.
Like me.
I got over it. I didn't give a shit. Then I see him at the boxing match a couple months ago in Miami, shakes my hand, tells me with me, tells me that he was wrong about me before, etc. Couple weeks later, all of a sudden, he's back on podcast talking a bunch of shit about me. Then I saw him literally 2 days ago in Miami, and he's back to being cool, grabbing me by the leg. How you doing, buddy? Blah, blah, blah. We're commentating on the fights together. He's acting totally cool. And I had just hit him up a week before that to say, hey, let's do an interview. He said, not interested. So it's like he doesn't really have it in him to like fully hate me when I'm in front of his face, but he'll say whatever about me on podcasts. And then even when I'm offering to pay him to do a podcast together, it's like he don't want to do it. I feel like he kind of feels like once we sit down across from each other on a podcast that he's not going to be able to really win in that exchange. And he's somebody who's very much known for being this great orator. But I'm going to be real. I feel like if me and you sit down and you try to tell me why you don't f with me, that you're going to sound stupid. And I think he kind of knows that.
He is stupid. Ain't nothing about him makes no sense. That's what I'm trying to tell you. He's one of them. He's one of them type. Because I'm going to tell you something. If I didn't like you, you're going to feel my presence when I'm in the room. And I'm not going to change because of no money, man. Ain't no money going to change my ideals and my thoughts. You know what I'm saying? Now, don't get me wrong. Again, everybody's chasing that dollar, right? But like I said again, I'm not never going to turn against my morals and values for no dollar, man.
Yeah, Charleston definitely went for the money. If he had a message at first, it wasn't as diluted and clouded with bullshit at first. Then he went for the money. He said, everybody, your dead mama, your dead baby, your brother, your uncle, fuck all y'all.
Hey,
That's in Fort Worth. We didn't
said
appreciate
one time
that.
I was watching, I looked through it, and I catch them. I just catch them, and I don't never catch a good one. And the one I called, he said, Fort Worth, Texas. Fort Worth, I'm rich now. I used y'all to get where I need to be. Shit, it's y'all's fault for believing. And that right there, that hurt me. Because I ain't never gonna scream Fort Worth, Texas. You know what I'm saying?
Fort Worth was what put him on. We pushed him out. It wasn't no other shit. It was Fort Worth. Talking about the gangsters, the Stop Six, the Eastwood, and the Harvey Street. That's what he was talking about. And that's what, that shit went viral on Facebook, and that's what created the YouTube shit. And he just went from there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of transparent about that. Like, even with the Say Cheese thing, like, Sean Cotton basically created him out of thin air, gave him a whole career.
I would say Vlad did. I don't know. He was bad Vlad before.
Vlad had him a couple times, but Say Cheese had him before that, and I feel like Sean Cotton believed in him before he really had accomplished anything and helped
Sean was
him
biting on
figure
that
out
forward,
his own
Adam.
value. But all I'm saying is that then now Charleston feels like he's in the Aiden Ross world, the streamer world, et cetera, and so he can just completely turn on Sean. And I feel like that's kind of corny, you know?
He's gonna do that. If you fuck with him, Adam, it's safe. You can do a pod with him and you pay him whatever.
Yeah.
Tomorrow,
I got 3 days before he's back talking
your
about
ass is grass and shit. As soon as he hit that dough, yeah, he gonna do that.
Because ultimately, I think he's somebody who's kind of content over everything.
100%.
And he knows that when a rapper dies, that if you get on there and say, hey, man, rest in peace to him, he was a good guy. Like, you know, shout out to his family, blah, blah, blah. He was a good man. That ain't really viral.
Right.
But if you get on there and say, you know, the BDs, the GDs, may they all burn in hell. I mean,
Okay, watch this.
that's going to get people talking.
Get Money Lil Ronnie, Chucky, and his baby, Chink.
Yeah.
When he went and did that shit, he ain't really been there like that, because that, like, Chucky was a Fort Worth baby. We loved Chucky. Everybody loved Chucky. You hear me? The other guy that Yayo, weird, all that shit, that's one thing. But Chucky was different. He didn't deserve that. He wasn't. His baby definitely didn't deserve that. Charleston got on that motherfucker, went to saying the worst shit we ever heard, man. And
I can't. That's why.
that's
That
crazy.
is the thing. That's the reason. And I like to say, man, R.I.P.
100%.
to them. That was a very sensitive situation. And any man, I don't care what gang past you come from, any man at that point, that's very sensitive on our souls. I just can't respect any man that talks about people that's passed away.
Yeah, that's where the content shit stop at right there.
You got to know when to cut it off. We can talk about it. You know, you can say what you want off camera. And I don't even like that, man. Like I told you, you ain't going to catch me looking no different than I look now. We ain't going to butter the situation up, man. Because what's real is real, and that's all we know.
Like when gangsters have beef with each other and then one of them gets killed and they make songs dissing them, or they go on an interview and they diss them or whatever, I don't really love that, but at least I get it. You know, if you really got like a blood vendetta against somebody, but from Charleston's perspective, it's like he don't have nothing personal against these people. He's just doing it for content.
And that's where people should understand that he needs to put a wig and a nose on that clown. You hear me? And let's just accept him as a clown. And then now when he pops out, we know here's his content. And if you show up to his shows, and he's talking about somebody that passed away, you don't feel shit. You laugh right along and giggle right along until he's talking about your people.
Yep.
And then you want to get serious. But we shouldn't have to wait till he gets serious to X his bitch ass out. You understand what I'm saying? Because he's already done too much. Talking about one was enough. People love people, man. And we go through things in life, and we have to be, you know, who we are, and we had to hold it the way we hold it. But you don't, man. I had partners in the past. I ain't gonna say partners, man. I had people I rode on in the past, and I wanted them dead, right? And this is a true story, man. Everybody's got enemies like that. But then when they really die, you feel up yourself. If you're a man, like, I mean, I understand, like Charleston, if he had a wreck right now, man, I'm gonna pop a bottle. You hear me? Like, we're finna, you know, I'm gonna spend all my last on a bottle. And I'm just saying, but at the end of the day, that's not how we, as humans. See, you got to be a human. Gangsters are humans. You understand? We want love too. We have feelings and emotions too. And even though I wanted somebody, you know, this is a true story, man. There was somebody that I was into it with for years, and I wanted them dead, man. And then when they passed away, man, at my age, I shedded a tear for somebody that I wasn't even, the situation was ugly. And all I'm saying is, man, we're still humans at the end of the day. And that's what I'm trying to get back to, humanity. You understand? That's what the gangster shit is good, and that's what people want to know about. But at the end of the day, I really want to talk about the people. What can we do to help our children? What kind of movement can we get in that's going to be positive for our environment? You know, to keep somebody else alive. You know, and so that's kind of where I'm at with my life. You know, and all my enemies, and I had enemies and whatever. You know, we're done with that. We're all 50 now. When you hit 50, I'm gonna tell you some real shit, man. When you hit 50, if you're still gang banging, I said gang banging.
Right.
You're up. You're not never gonna be. See, gang bangers and gang members, it's two different things. You can be a member, and we're all out here being a member. Gang banging is representing that shit to the death. And there's times for that at war. That's when that happens. We go to war. But what I'm trying to tell you is, if you're 50 and you're on gang banging, man, there's something wrong with you.
I mean, when you're 50, for the average guy, you can kind of see what the end of your life is going to be like. You've already lived most of your life.
Right.
Your parents are probably either gone or they're aging to the point where you can kind of see the end of their life approaching. And, you know, by the time you're 50, you probably got kids. Your kids are probably either adults or getting there.
Oh, man. Listen.
You got the whole spectrum from adults to...
I just had one, Lil Bailey. I just had one. You know, I have a poly relationship at home. Like I said, I got two women.
Really?
You know what I mean? Wow. Yeah, Bree and Alex. Shout out Bree and Alex. I love y'all.
Wait, so this is a real poly relationship and you live with both of them and they're both cool with it?
Yeah, right. Yeah, and then I live. I live with like all my children, man. We can run them down. You know, I got.
You live with 16 kids?
No, not at all times. Right? Yeah, Dub and Zay and Michaela, they're grown. But then from there, I got Naraya, Abby, King, Emily. I got Noah. I got Gabe. I got Riley. I got Rain. I have I got Bailey. I got
Duda.
Yeah, I done said Duda. Let me get them all right. There's so many of them. I got shit, man. You just took my shit away from me. I have that's what I'm saying. When you have so many children, trying to remember all their names is a task at 50. You hear me? I've been hit so many times in the head. But I got I have Ashton, and I have my daughter. I have a brand new daughter. Man, you're gonna have to cut this out.
No, this is good. Well, I mean, unless you really want.
Giovanni. That's my daughter. And I'm so sorry. Please don't do nothing to me when I get there. Trying to go down the road of their names, back, you know, and I got so many of them. It's just, and I don't remember no birth dates. But anyway, back to the poly relationship. Yeah, I definitely have a poly relationship, a strong one. Like we're really together. We all live together.
Have you ever thought about pulling out?
That's been the problem. I never broke weak.
I figured, man.
I never broke
I'm the opposite of that. When I had my kid, I got about a good month and a half, 2 months of coming in my girl on purpose. And then she got pregnant and then got to continue to do it throughout the rest of the pregnancy. But besides that, never intentionally.
Well, let me give it to you right quick.
Up.
I'm glad you brought that up because this is a good this is a good note we own. I was gang banging when I come home. Gang banging.
Right.
Not a gang member. I was active gang member. I was out in the streets and I was doing a lot of things that we do. And I don't mean just gang member, I mean a criminal. I didn't have no way to make no money, so I had to get on it. Well, anyway, I got out of prison 4/10/2000. 4/11/2001, which is 1 year and 1 day later, I had Dawg, 88 Dawg. He's an upcoming rapper in the city. And
check him out, Adam. He does millions of views.
Well, I've seen he's got some videos doing like interviews about what it's like growing up with you as his dad too.
Right. I wanted him here. I wanted him here. But again, I'm gonna give Charleston White something to talk about. I'm broke. I couldn't get him here, Charlie.
Oh man.
No, just keeping it real. I didn't have enough money to get us all here. This took a lot out of me. You know what I mean? I got 16 kids to take care of that I faithfully take care of. Every dollar I get's got to go home. And that's why I said I'll knock Charleston out. Well, I'll do it for free, But if anybody wants to pay me, I would do it for the money too.
Aiden.
Anyway, get off that, man.
Yeah. No.
So when I got here, man, again, it just took a lot out of me to even get us here. You know what I mean? Because again, I'm focused. I just had a wreck last week. Went off a bridge.
Show up, yeah.
My truck's totaled. You know, and things just kind of went 1X across the screen.
Do you like most guys once they have a couple kids either get a vasectomy or just intentionally go out of their way to stop?
Before we start talking about broken, it just got my got me all on the wrong path. I'm gonna get back on it. When I had my dub, the night before I was slinging that iron in the city of Fort Worth, Texas, and I came to the hospital with gun residue on my hands. I was in the streets.
Whoa.
When that baby popped out at her, I looked, they're hollering, the baby's here, the baby's hollering. When I reached out and grabbed him, my life changed.
Really?
Right then and right there.
And that was your firstborn?
And that's when I knew that I had to take care of him. But still I was battling with the demon, okay? Let's get it straight. I'm battling with demons at that time because I'm still not gonna let nothing happen. I'm riding. Well, I had another one. That one wasn't with me. She was born with her mama through me running the streets. Didn't even know she was born until a year later after she was born. She was 1 year old when I met her, and that's Michaela. And after that, I had Isaiah, right? Then I went back to prison. I hadn't given it all the way up. But the time in prison was so depressing to me, bro, that it just destroyed my soul. Every time I'd see something about children on TV, it bothered me. Every time I would hear somebody talking about their family or get a phone call, it bothered me. I knew I left somebody out there that really needed me and they needed some guidance. So the next time I got out, of course, it was a long stretch. But when I got out, I went straight home and I picked them up. And that's when my story began, as far trying to be a father. You know, I grabbed a hold of them and told them, hey, man, I ain't leaving you ever again. You know, not like that. You know, before I went to prison, I had to go sit down with them at the table, and we was all talking over dinner, and I told them, your dad's leaving. He'll be gone in the morning. They don't know that. That was a sensitive situation. But I overcame. I went to prison, and that's another reason when I was aggravated. You know, but I also knew I wasn't gonna come home because I'm a gang member. I'm on gang file. I'm a white blood in TDC, and it's finna be some problems. So I knew I wasn't gonna make parole. They wasn't even, them white folks wasn't even gonna let me out. You know, every time they get me, they're cheering. So, make a long story short, I fought the whole time I was there. But when I got back out that last time, I gave them a promise I wasn't going nowhere. And that's another reason that I get on here like this, because you never know. You never know. You know, who knows what'll happen next for you in your life. Somebody may present something to you that'll take you somewhere else, and that way I can get my children in where I'm trying to get them and lead other ones the right way.
For sure. I mean, think about how powerful children are, that somebody as gangster as you, who's seen as much as you and been through as much as you, that your kids are like the one thing that could drive you to tears like that, you know?
Right.
And I think we've all kind of had that experience as dads of just like...
Well, you know, it's also because I let them down.
Yeah.
But that's another story, you hear me? We ain't got to get into that too long, but I let them down. I left them when they needed me the most.
Because of prison or because?
Well, because of my actions, you know, wrongdoing.
Yeah.
Again, because of my image of being a tough guy, I wasn't letting it down. And if you got to stand by that, you can't walk in there and say, well, I love my kids and be on that shit when you're on demon time. That don't exist in them. There's two different lives. So the children are what got me focused. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people make comments out here and they say things. But I really am a real daddy, and I really am not on food stamps, and I really don't get no government assistance. Everything that I acquire is out of the mud.
You just don't want to get government assistance because you have too much pride for it?
No, now you make me do it. Now you finna get me in trouble.
Uh-oh.
Okay, but I'm gonna go and tell it. My kids' mothers get the food stamps.
Okay.
I don't get nothing but to take care of the kids. See, my purpose is I just want them. You keep the money, I'll take the children. And I know they're gonna be upset with me by the time I get to this interview, but I don't care. Truth is truth, man. I got a warrant for my arrest right now. I had to ride the bus to see you.
Really?
That's the only reason we didn't fly.
What's the warrant for?
Child support. And the sad thing is, I got all my kids at home. I can call them right now on FaceTime, and I'll show you every one of them. They're gonna come to the phone. You know what I mean? And that's a true. That is a true story. Would you like to see them?
Sure. Whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
They all black too, Adam.
I was assuming that every single baby mama is black.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I've never had the opportunity to this day to be with a white woman. I've said that in other videos. Now wait a minute. I'm not running from no white women. Now that I'm older, you know.
Take a walk on the wild side.
Yeah, right. But I'm not. I just never had a chance because again, when you grow up in the situation I grew up in, there was nobody but black folks there.
Right.
You know, so like, I
think he's like Adriana.
Trying to get a hold of me, and
Adam.
I still haven't even got him on this phone. But I want to show you right quick what I'm talking about, so you know that it's real. Like I'm genuine. Hey, babe, put all my kids on camera right quick. Get them in there.
Raya, Abby, Rain, go get Duda and King.
Oh, King, I didn't even bring up King.
Yeah,
I
you
love you,
did.
son. I
Yeah,
did.
you-
I did. Oh, see, I can't remember.
You got daddy want to talk to you, boy?
Hurry up.
I am.
Okay.
So when I tell you, y'all get in the front of the camera right quick. Look at him. Look at him. Show him out. Look, show me baby Gia. Look at the babies. Show me the babies.
Yeah, some close.
Aww. Hi.
Oh, I know him.
I'm doing an interview with your dad.
Show them all, babe. Show everybody.
Wow, that is a whole light-skinned coalition you got going there, man.
Right.
Oh, she got her hair all braided up.
Yeah, Bree braids their hair, gets them all, nice looking.
Nice.
Hey, King. Hey.
King probably know him.
I see. There's more
Wow,
coming.
That is a lot of kids in that house right there.
Yeah, and I. Hey, babe, Bree,
Huh? Yeah.
do I take care of y'all?
Yes.
What'd you say, Bree? There you go. Now they're getting in the pictures. Just to let you know, when people get on here, I love y'all.
We love you, King.
When people get on here, bro, and they go to talking about, I ain't no daddy, that hurts me bad because I am a gangster. I am. And I made a lot of the wrong decisions, but I am a daddy. And even though I made wrong decisions raising them early on, I don't make them decisions now. You know, that's another reason that I've sat down and talked to people about even doing this. They say God may be pushing you in that direction for someone to hear your story.
Right.
You know, it wasn't like, again, it wasn't something that I felt like was going to even, I never thought this would be.
He didn't believe me. I said, I'm finna blow you up, Red Dog. He was like, yeah, cool. Come on, I just want to tell my story.
Sitting right here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But God
Hold on, let me
is
say
good.
this. I didn't send Adam a lot of my interviews, man.
That's true.
And the only one he didn't he paid attention to that he let me know he paid attention to was the Red Dog interview. Straight up.
I did have it saved for a few weeks before I watched it, but then when I watched it, I hit him up like, yeah, we got to actually do this. This is a good story right here. This guy's very interesting.
Yeah, but the thing is, I'm genuine and I'm honest. You know, the thing that scares me the most is I don't want to tell a lie on this internet because I'm scared somebody will Google it. Everything I tell is the truth.
Right.
I want you to understand that everything I'm going to tell you is the truth. We're not going to make up a little story and make a skit that's not real.
Right.
Like he asked me, if they paid you money to sit with Charleston White, would you? No, because he affected me. He affected me deeply by saying what he said about someone that meant so much to me and to my neighborhood. You know, he was somebody in the neighborhood that people could look up to and respect. And then for him, and also he was a gangster, a real gangster. And for him to do that after he passed on, wow.
Yeah.
There's no way he would have done that while he was living.
Yeah, that's grimy, man.
Man, I really wished I could get this man on the phone, brother.
Yeah.
He really wanted to be on here. Oh, look. Here they go. Did you get him?
Oh yeah, Adam, fuck 607 Unc.
Why do you say that? Because you were super cool with him up until
That's my guy.
pretty recently, right?
That's still my brother, but you know, Unc is a I don't know about that guy. I think you might know better than I do.
He's a riddle. He's very confusing.
That's a good riddle. A
Still,
human walking riddle.
spent a lot of time around him, but I'm still not really sure what to do. But wait, okay, what was your business relationship with him?
I was his manager.
Okay, you were managing.
Yeah, I was managing him. Yeah, for sure. Him, Go Yayo, Tony Weirich.
Okay.
Who else from Forward that really anything that kind of come through there in a sense, like I've had my hands in it 100%. Like it ain't nobody that you know.
Why did it not work out with Unc?
Well, he still calls me. We still talk. So, but just like business, Unc don't like to peel his pockets back, Adam.
Yeah.
He don't want to peel his pockets back, man.
Okay.
You know what that mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I was just asking you why him and King Yella fell out. Because I just found out about that yesterday. And
you don't even like King Yella. You had nothing but good things to say about him off the.
No, we got back cool.
Oh, y'all cool now?
We were not cool for maybe a year and a half or something there, and but no, I was just hanging out with him in Miami and stuff. We're back on good terms.
I like King Yella. I like him a lot.
Yeah.
Now we was all working together. Me, Uncle King Yella. We've done a lot of good work now.
Yeah, that was his kind of main co-host on his pod, and I guess shit didn't work out.
I wasn't there, so I don't know. I don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah, I know one thing about it, man. I came to put Fort Worth, Texas, and Eastwood, Piru on the map. You've heard of Truman Street?
Have you heard of Truman? No, I don't think you heard of Truman.
But I mean the world. A lot of the world has.
Bounty Hunter BJ came to Truman. Truman is like a blood set in Fort Worth. It's like one of the first. The first blood set in Texas, for the most part. A lot of the gang shit in Texas, don't let them people come here and lie to you, Adam. It come from Fort Worth, bro. I mean, it came from the prison system.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like it became a fad when they see it like in the streets, but in a prison is when a lot of those guys got the game from the Fort Worth cats with the gang shit, 100%.
Oh, okay. Yo, so this is what I wanted to ask you is, I'm sure you're aware of the whole conflict going on between the sort of LA Hoovers and the Texas Hoovers. And a lot of that comes down to basically they're in Texas.
But you're asking the wrong person.
Right, but I just want to know, from your perspective, can an out-of-state blood or an out-of-state Piru tell you that you're not gangbanging right? In terms of, you know, we're not talking like big moral things. We're talking more stylistic things. Like with the Hoovers, it's more about, are you Crips or criminals? Do you use, you know, what side do you wear your rag on, or whatever the f it is? It's like little things like that. Is that something where you feel like you need to defer to, you know, California when it comes to like how you represent your gang?
I'm going to say this right fast. I can't speak on nothing Crip related. I'm not knowledgeable in no sense. All due respect to the people that folks with me, but I have no knowledge and no understanding about the Crips. Let's say this. LA is where it was formed. It migrated different places. And when it come to Texas, you know, we took it. And everything that y'all in California do ain't exactly how we in Texas do.
Right.
But we represented it to the fullest. A lot of times they may not have had the right literature, the right knowledge, or the right teacher, but they still fought on the same side. You understand what I'm saying? So when you come from California and you're saying that this ain't how we do it and that ain't how we do it, I agree that it was formed here and it migrated there and we ran with it. Whether you was brought and taught, we still did it the way we did it and we represented the same thing. You understand what I'm trying to tell you? When it comes to the Crips, I have nothing bad to say about Crips by any means, but I can't tell you nothing on them guys. You know what I'm saying? Right. So when you're talking about me and what I'm doing, I'm 100% understanding where we're going with it. You know what I mean? But I kind of get lost with that.
So let's say you were doing podcasts with some Pirus out here and they said, there's one thing about how you guys are being Pirus that we don't like. We don't like the way that you guys do this gang sign. This gang sign is not allowed in our world and you guys are doing it, so therefore we feel like that's a conflict of interest or whatever. Would you be open-minded about that? Or are you sort of stuck in your ways enough that you're like, no, you should respect the fact that our gang history goes back 40, 50 years, and yeah, maybe along the way some signals have been crossed, but ultimately you should have respect for our traditions as well.
Correct, 100%. They should always have respect for the motherland of California, where it was originated. But let me say this. If you are a Christian and you read the Bible, understand where I'm going now, and you start preaching the Bible, you have to understand the word. You can't give nobody no word.
Tell them again, Red Dawg.
And not know what you're preaching on. See, a lot of situations, again, people wasn't given the right knowledge. They wasn't given the right game. They was given a flag. You understand where I'm coming from? And we went to war with that flag. We didn't care at that point about knowledge, literature. We didn't care about the breakdown of why we got there. We cared about killing the next one that was on the opposite side. So when they come out of California and they come to Texas, they have to understand, we ain't California. We're Texas. And we banged just as hard as California in Fort Worth, Texas. So if they had a problem with the way it was structurized, then possibly should have shot down some knowledge. You understand? Should have pulled up and said, hey, this is how we doing this, or this is how we doing that. You understand what I'm saying? If they not liking how we did it, there's nothing we can do about it. It's done. And that's how we are. But at the end of the day, again, I will always respect California and the motherland. This is where, a lot of people think, they say, man, would you go to California and with the hell yeah, because that's how my heart lies. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm just from Texas. My accent's a little different. My way of thought's a little different. The way I carry myself may be a little different, but my heart is the same. You understand what I'm saying?
For sure. Yeah,
a lot of those, go ahead, Adam.
Well, it was on your channel, right? The Kunta versus Gumby showdown.
Free OG Gumby.
One of the craziest podcasts of all time.
You think so, Adam? I appreciate that, man.
I mean, it was one of the wildest things.
That shit was, listen, that went from 0 to 1 million in like, man, that shit was, and it wasn't staged. There wasn't no content shit. We didn't know Gumby was finna go straight to what he went to. He spoke on L.A. Ron, speaking on Hoover Business, which L.A. Ron never did. Shout out Uncle Ron. But it was all a ploy for Gumby to get at Kunta on some California jail shit, and Kunta fell for it.
Right, but because Kunta basically made it out like you and Unc kind of set him up.
Yeah, and that's definitely. He said that. So he really was. He didn't want to say my name, but let me clear that up. So before the interview even took place, Gumby and Kunta know that they both were going to be at Unc Content House in Vegas. There was no Kunta flew from Texas. How you don't know?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So they knew that. They were buddy, hugged up, smoking, drinking before the interview started. The interview started, it was cool. Gumby shot that shit out there. And Kunta was like kind of taken back, like, oh, what am, you know what I'm saying? So he did what he could do, but even after that, Adam, Gumby and Triggerbird took Kunta home to his hotel room. He didn't stay over there with us. He left. So I didn't watch all the Kunta shit and what he came up here and said and all of that. You dig what I'm saying? But Unc didn't set him up at all. Definitely didn't do that. I definitely didn't set him up, and he wasn't by himself. And it was a safe place. It wasn't no type of shit to where he was gonna get off because he from out of town. And no, it wasn't nothing like that. Definitely wasn't like I told Gumby. I was talking to both of them. Even after the fact, I told Gumby to come up here and deal with you. I said, go. He called me. I said, bro, you need to go deal with Adam. I don't want to go. No, go with Adam, bro. You need to go do that. And then y'all became like this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Can I ask you a question? Who brought me to you? How did you find me?
Him.
I bring that out because there's a lot of people in Fort Worth. There's a lot of people in Fort Worth saying that, just different things. And again, I'm not a shit starter by far, but I definitely pay attention. You understand? And he told me that he was the reason that I came, and other people are telling me that he's not the reason that I'm here. So I would just verify.
I'm the reason Kunta kind of came up here. Shit, you watched it from the interview.
Yeah.
Just this thing too. Also, Adam, on the Hoover stuff and the Crip stuff. It's real gangbangers in Fort Worth. Like I said, now it's a set of Grape Streets in Fort Worth that have came out here to watch and got they put down the proper way.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? It's what's his name? Red Rum, from the blood dude from out here. He passed away, but these guys being forward. This ain't no.
Yeah, he came to.
They come down there, bro.
Stop 6 days.
Stop 6 is a blood neighborhood. Eastwood is a blood and Crip neighborhood. Shout out to Truman Street. You know what I'm saying?
OGs.
But it's like it's a lot of those people that are down there. They come from here. Even you know most of LA's families in Mississippi, Texas, Alabama. You know all of that shit. So it's just a lot of different. It used to be for sure. Like I said, he's older than me, so I watched all of this shit. I'm old enough to know who was really doing it, who wasn't doing it, and man, that place was dangerous, bro. And I ain't just saying it because I'm from there. Fort Worth was definitely one of the. That's why they take it so seriously. You don't get no red dog if it ain't serious, because he ain't gonna. He can't make it. He's a white man in a city like that doing that shit. When he was growing up, I didn't believe it till I met him, and it took me 2 seconds. And he looked at me. I was like, he looked me. I was managing his son, and I said, I want to interview him. He wasn't trying to hear that shit. So then when he seen one of the interviews, and then here we go. And then the first one we did, that's the one you saw, and now here we are. So it was the genuineness in him. It comes from being from Fort Worth, because it's not a gangbanger place. Now it ain't like it was back then, but it ain't no. It's not no walk in the park. You know, some wires have gotten crossed with the gangbanger shit. Like when shit leave places, it's gonna do that. But like what he said,
it's like speaking to somebody. You got 10 people in a circle here, and I speak something to you, and you speak it to them. By the time it gets back to you, it's reworded.
Yeah,
it's worded the way that
especially because like now there's so much information on the internet. Yeah. That like what you're supposed to do if you're a Crip or a Hoover or a Blood or whatever is like relatively easy to figure out, but the internet has only been huge for 10 years, not even. So I mean, like, imagine how difficult it was to figure out the exact protocols for gang shit before that. I mean, it would have been way more difficult, way more.
See, Fort Worth being a like a majority, it's a Crip city. Like it's Crips on the north side, it's Crips on the east side, the south side, the west side. It's Hoovers everywhere.
I feel like anywhere I've ever been, it's always been a majority.
Where in Fort Worth?
I mean, anywhere I've ever been, but majority, in Fort Worth.
And then
even out here,
the Bloods everywhere they've been violent. Because they have to. It's Crips every goddamn where. You know what I'm saying? But Red Dog, he square bit is not a play thing. I think you know what you're looking at Adam when you know what I'm saying. You wouldn't even had said that to me because I hit you about Kunta, and you basically was like, this wasn't your words verbatim, but you was that bring Red Dog up here. Let's do a podcast because you ignored what I said.
Oh, really?
I was like, now, yeah. I was like, now you speaking my language, and here we are. And see, he didn't know you or none of this stuff. This is his. He did an interview with Drewski on Unique Perspective. Shout out Unique Perspective. But the next day he came to me. Me and Drew, this my boy. He came to me, and then shit, here we are.
Yeah, I didn't know nothing about all this. This is new. But I'm glad to be a part of it now. I feel like I'm going in the right direction with something. You know, it is a little light at the end of the tunnel now. So it's just something positive.
No, yeah, it's amazing to see you taking your story and your life experience and actually like turning it into something that could impact people, and to see people actually resonating with it and giving a really like having the numbers looking pretty respectable on your content, and I'm excited for what it's going to be like for more people to find out through this. You know,
oh yeah.
You know, the real thing is this. I didn't care about the numbers. I cared about the comments.
Oh yeah, I had to tell him get out the comments, man. He comment, hey man, what was this, man?
Buck though, ain't no comments doing no tripping.
No, these comments.
If you read my comments, they're the truth.
Yeah, man.
My city's supporting me.
Yeah,
you know, and that's why I say I'm taking Fort Worth, Texas, all the way with us. Eastwood to the top. They're gonna know about us, and we don't have to gangbang to get us there. We done that already.
Oh, there you go.
Get on this camera, and I'm gonna take every opportunity I can that's presented to me. You know what I mean? But we ain't telling no lies, and I want to make that clear. Read the comments. No matter where you're at. If you was fake or you was something that you're saying that you're not, that you know you're not, that comment section is what's gonna light up.
Yeah.
True. Do you think that Fort Worth and Texas in general is closer to unity or something approaching unity than it was 20, 30 years ago?
Yeah,
I
know it is
it's
because
moving
the
in a
Crips
better
that
direction.
I can call on my phone right now, we were out for each other's ass back then, and now I can call them. Hey, let's talk about it. And that's why I told you about the shirt that I'm coming out with, because I'm not just doing this for one side. I'm doing it for it all. You know, you're gonna have to. You know, I will always be a Piru. But I can sit in the room and respect people who ain't. You understand where I'm coming from?
For sure.
So now we can converse, we can talk, we can come up with things to help our children. And you know, I may not can go to that youngster that loves the blue side, but I got his OG
100%.
that can.
Would you come to Fort Worth? Well, you've been before.
Sure.
You need to come. You need to really come this time, though. Like, and really come and we'll. You feel me?
So you're implying the Go Yayo tour was not as good as
Well, hell no. Nah. I asked Remo what I was telling him. I said, bro, what are y'all doing? Was it dead when you was over there? Was nobody there, right?
I mean,
you been one place and
kind of sleepy.
I don't want to say too much, but man, some of them people, bro. No disrespect to the neighborhoods at all, because that's what that is. But how it was presented to you. And how it was, no, hell no. You come down there with us, you can go all over the whole town, all the original Crips, all the real Bloods, all of the young dudes, the older ones. That shit was cool, but that wasn't it.
When stopped 6th day?
June 6th.
Okay. That
Eastwood Day is August what?
8th.
August 8th. You got Grape Street Day. You can come whenever though. If you want to come, you don't got to be no day to be Adam Day in Fort Worth.
I don't want my own holiday. I'd rather go observe another important holiday. That'd be cool.
You can come for sure.
I'd love to, you know, that would be all right to bring you through the city
on some real shit.
I don't know Go Yayo. I'm not speaking on none of. I don't know what happened with.
No, he brought him down to the city, and it was like he took him to the south side, but he took him to, you know.
Yeah, I know of people before Go, you know, during his but I don't know him personally. But yeah, you come down on August 8th. You know, as a matter of fact, we're having East Side Day.
Oh yeah, that's April. Joe Blow. That's April. It's in April, Adam. Okay. I get the date for you.
We're gonna bring.
And everybody gonna be there, 100%.
You know, and that's gonna be both sides of the city. Yeah. Like this is a East Side thing.
And it'll be safe. There's gonna be food, barbecuing, police. Like it's gonna be cool. It's structured. It ain't no bullshit. You know what I'm saying? But it's gonna be exactly what you into. You know what I'm saying?
Sounds
right.
fun.
I think that would be pretty cool. You know.
Probably get some new baby mamas out there if you've been any sort of indicator.
Right.
You should introduce them to as a white woman, Adriana.
Chechik?
Oh my God.
That's a demon right there.
Yeah, I already know.
I said, I
love her more than anybody in the world. Yeah, Dread Dog.
Yeah, you know it's funny, man, that to this day, I've never penetrated a white woman in my life. I've never seen a white woman
naked in front of you. Wow.
Well, wait. At the strip club.
Strip club, sure, yeah.
But I mean, like when we're about to get it in, I've never been in that position. Mexican either.
Wow.
I really like black women. I like everything about a black woman, you know, and I've respected them so much my whole life. It's just kind of, I've had actually, you know, the older lady that just called me on the phone, she's about 77 or she's up in age. I look at her as like a mama because my mom gave up on me too. So the black community kind of brought me up. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I guess I was like that movie where you know, that ape in the woods. What's that movie?
Oh, Tarzan.
Yeah,
Tarzan, raised by the gorillas. But
raised by the gorillas. You know what I mean? And that's just how my life really took off, because everybody had already given up on me at such an early age, because I was a gunslinger, and I wasn't supposed to live past, like they told me. I got the newspaper article. We posted it on the first video I did. Fort Worth Star-Telegram posted it.
Oh yeah, I gotta shout out to Texas media real fast, Adam. Texas media, Cutting Boss, Triller Too Legit. Who else I need to shout out, Adam, down there?
Real Tune.
Never.
You on that side? Okay.
He come from me. Real Tune come from the Bob Report. You dig what I'm saying? I used to put my interviews on his channel.
Oh, really?
But I'm gonna keep it real. Tune showed me how to work my camera. That's what Tune did. Outside of that, everything is from the Bob Report.
I met this woman over the weekend, and she had me feeling like Red Dawg, man. Delicious. You familiar?
Oh, you met Delicious?
Oh my God. I took one look at her and I was like, maybe I've been wasting my life.
Oh, you that Delicious. Oh yeah, Adam, you tripping. Yeah,
that's
no, she done got thicker too. What she been taking? Creatine or something?
I don't know what she's on, but she needs to keep doing it.
God
she was
damn.
She's amazing.
Just, I looked at her face and I was like, oh my God, she has such a beautiful face. And then I looked down at her ass and her boobs were so huge and round too. And I was like, bruh, this has got to be one of the hottest chicks I ever seen in front of me in my whole life.
Delicious is a cold piece. I ain't gonna lie.
I'm gonna tell you something though. They got a little saying: once you go black, you never go back. So be careful.
And I have gone back. I have gone black, and I have gone back, but I'm ready to go back once again.
Yeah, I'm going face first.
Yeah, all the way.
This dude here, man.
But yeah, man, I really, really, really appreciate this, brother.
No, it was
really
amazing, man. Yeah,
I really do, man.
Yeah, if you want to stick around, my boy Munchie B from
Munchie finna pull up.
He about to be here in like a half hour. If you guys want to say hi and
Munchie,
shit.
yeah.
I feel like you and him would hit it off.
Yeah,
great.
he just followed me on Instagram too, old Munchie.
Oh, for real?
Oh, yeah. About a month ago. You know what I'm saying?
I sure wanted to get him on the phone with us right quick. He wanted to talk.
Yeah, me Munchie B. That'll be cool.
Yeah,
he's been gone 10 years.
Who now?
OG Kiki.
Oh, okay, right.
And again, like I say, man,
Hello?
you ain't got him on the line yet, huh?
No, the phones are tripping.
All right. Well, my interview was about to be over, so I wanted him on there.
I've been listening to you.
Right. All right. Well, tell him I love him. So I tried to get him on the line.
Okay. Thank you.
Tell him to hit me. Bye. Anyway, so again,
we will be bringing that content. Will be brought to the Bob Report.
Oh, 100%.
Again, like I said, I want to shout out to the whole Tarrant County, Fort Worth, Texas. You know what I'm saying? I want to shout out to all the OGs, all the stand-up, all the people that I grew up with, all the people that support me. Thank you. OG Keister, Pee-wee, R.I.P., Benny Boy. I need to get out with him.
Shout out OG Benny Boy.
Who else, man?
It's a lot of them. All the OGs. Shout out all the OGs on both sides.
Manchi
Blood, Joe Blow, Big Trent,
Big Red, Bubba, JD, all y'all. I love all y'all, homie. Eastwood baby for shit sure.
You gotta shout out some Crips too, Red Dawg.
Yeah, I always shout out to. I don't know a lot of them, but
look, I got you. Shout out Big Suge. Shout out OG Los.
What
Big
about,
Duke?
What about Crip T?
Crip T, my boy.
K Love.
K Love. That's the dude with the mask. He wear a mask at every interview. Adam, his name is K Love. He's not gonna take it off. He the real
we need
thing.
to unite this city, homies. We need to bring our city together. This is bigger than us.
100%.
We're gonna save our children. We really got a reason to fight now. You know what I mean? We were young and we were doing our thing, but now we got a reason to fight. We all got kids and we definitely want to bring them up the right way. We made our mistakes, but now it's time to repair them. It's time to fix our city. And again, Charleston White.
Oh, you got to end it on
that. Hey, I nominate Red Dawg to be like the next up and coming Texas media personality because I feel like the people are really going to f with you after this. So
that's big, Adam.
Well, I hope so because I'm genuine. And let's say something else. What about the other dude, man? Let's say R.I.P. to him, man.
Who?
White folk.
Oh, R.I.P. white folks, no doubt.
R.I.P. white folk, man.
No, for sure.
I'm new to the internet, y'all, so I don't know a lot of people. Only when I'm going on Facebook looking for my next baby mama.
I think you should give a little bit of your tutelage, Adam. He's good.
I am happy to be of service. Yeah, y'all don't claim Riff Raff, huh?
He from Houston. We fuck with Riff Raff.
Okay.
He ain't Riff Raff is cool. He been putting it down for a long time.
I was a
cool guy.
Monster Riff Raff fan back in the day. Oh my God. I was on his. I'm not even gonna say that in the presence of Red Dawg, but I was.
You don't do that because Red Dawg. He
a massive fan. Riff Raff. Still am, kind of honestly. I got one of his new songs on my playlist right now. Him and B.O.P. Kosher.
Yeah, pretty much the Southern hospitality from coming from Texas. People are attracted to that. You dig what I'm saying? So.
Nah, facts. Yo, Red Dawg, appreciate you, man.
Shout out to Head and D-Dawg free D-Dawg.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I say, man, I'm sorry if I didn't bring y'all up. I've been up all night riding the bus to get here. We didn't get the luxury of the plane. That bus kept me up. I'm tired. I ain't focused.
Tell him why we didn't ride it. It's 2 reasons why we didn't ride it.
Well,
I've already told him.
And he just another. What's the other reason? Tell
I got
him.
a warrant.
No, not that. That's the other one. He think the plane gonna get shot out of the sky.
Oh
He
yeah,
argued
you
me
know
down
we're
for
at war
a
right
week.
now, and I'm not really I kind of, you never know when they're gonna start doing something. You know, I just don't want to ride a plane.
If Iran wants to send these drones at us, good luck.
Yeah.
Right.
We're gonna shoot them shits out of the sky before they
Right,
even get close,
right,
buddy.
right.
Yeah.
And God bless America, man.
The Ayatollah,
Right.
all of them.
100%. See, now we got a reason to go in another direction with this lifestyle.
yeah, we are all
mean?
joined together against
Yeah.
the Middle East.
Yeah, you know, and like I said, I pray to God our soldiers make it home.
Mm.
Each and every one of them. Back to their families. They have children as well. You know? So I'm definitely supporting our troops. Even though, you know, they a lot of them don't fuck with me because I'm that white boy that that they kind of cast it out, thrown away. You know, but I'm still here. So at the end of the day, man, like I said, I have much respect for you, brother, and I thank you for bringing me here.
Nah, huge amount of respect for you too, man. Red Dawg, legend. Tap in, go watch a bunch of his other content, and make sure you check out Bob's Report, the Bob Report on YouTube.
There you go.
And he got a lot of other crazy ass content focused on Texas, but also around the world. Appreciate you guys. Feel free to stick around for a little bit. I definitely would like to see you and Munchie tap in. That would be fire.
Me too, yeah.
But yeah, shout out to you guys. No Jumper, coolest podcast in the world. Check us out on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, etc. Like, comment, subscribe. We will be reading the comments, and shout out to our members.
And whoop, Eastwood, I love you.
Let's go.